Hello to everyone. It is a real pleasure to be part of this session and among all of you. I'm Elza Ramadani, founder and director of Animal Rights Foundation in Kosovo, an organization established in 2018 with the aim of improving animal welfare and rights by working closely with institutions and lawmaking and enforcement bodies. Kosovo's journey in the dog population management is quite dynamic and I would say quite interesting. And today I want to share how it all unfolded, how a country without a national framework eventually adopted one, what it took to get there, and what still needs to happen. Up until 2017, Kosovo's main street dog population control method was culling. The turning point came in 2017 when Kosovo banned culling by law. In 2021, Animal Rights Foundation proposed to the government and relevant ministries that Kosovo needed a national DPM strategy, a guide document with clear services and enablers. And that proposal and the final draft of the national strategy are both grounded, of course, in ICAM's Humane Dog Population Management Guidance, which provided the base framework we built our case around. In 2022, the government responded by forming an official multi-stakeholder working group, of which Animal Rights Foundation was part. And in October of that same year, the National Strategy for Dog Population Management for 5 years was approved without a sheltering and euthanasia approach, and with the CNVR, officially recognized as Humane Sustainable Path Forward. RF, together with the Prime Minister's office, then organized a stakeholder meeting to commit to the strategy and begin the implementation. In 2023, we were super happy and excited to start the cooperation with PAWS International to support stakeholders in understanding the evidence behind humane DPM approaches. So in that same year, we held a workshop with municipal officials, starting to show them, explain to them, and try to convince them to commit to a sustainable and humane DPM system. In the same year, so in 2023, with RF's guidance and support and EU project funding the Food and Veterinary Agency, the latter launched the first free sterilization and registration campaign for companion animals in Kosovo. Actually, to be more precise, for dogs as companion animals, not including cats, even though this is legally foreseen and it's a legal obligation to register cats as well. But then, in 2024 and 2025, together with PAWS, we wanted to know the full picture with the robust nationwide data. This is how the first national street dog survey was conducted across all 38 municipalities. And I'm sure for this, Tamara Kartal will explain a bit more after my presentation here. And yeah, this is how the first national street dog survey was conducted across all the 38 municipalities. And then following that important and so unique report, so the street dog survey in Kosovo, we again joined forces with PAWS to organize municipal DPM plans within municipalities to empower them to have a clearer understanding of the dog dynamics, why data is important, and how to build a sustainable and humane plan for the dog population management. So when we talk about the strategy in Kosovo, we can clearly say that for the first time, Kosovo now has a governmental approach or a government-adopted national framework that advises the municipalities to move away from the reactive short-term approaches of the past. And this is positive. So the strategy is clear on something fundamental, that the real problem is not the dogs on the street, it is the sources that put them there. Irresponsible ownership, uncontrolled breeding, abandonment, and illegal trade. And the strategy, of course, mandates consistent enforcement of animal welfare legislation, a functioning identification and registration system. As I earlier mentioned, is already legally mandatory for dogs and cats in Kosovo. The strategy also foresees adequate veterinary capacity, especially in rural places and areas, and public education that hopefully could change human behavior. Yeah, in general, it also foresees education in schools, and that kind of gives hope also for younger generation to understand and to understand not just the dogs as animals, but also to have more empathy towards them, to my opinion, because this is what in Kosovo is still lacking. And but I see a positive change in younger generations also in Kosovo. So I think there is hope, and with a clear educational program, it could give some good results for the years to come. We all would agree that a strategy on paper means little without effective implementation. There were some steps, important steps and measures that were initiated in Kosovo to kind of start implementing the strategy. And of course, now we have the legal framework and population data because of our amazing report conducted together with PAWS. And I think a clearer roadmap of how Kosovo should build on a sustainable and humane DPM. Yet I think some gaps are still there. Of course, the consistent enforcement of DPM legislation or criteria across all municipalities, some adequate veterinary capacity, particularly in some rural areas or in some municipalities. And of course, what is still a bit missing is also functioning identification and registration system operating at scale, because it is functioning, of course, but we need more awareness of keepers, of dog keepers, in order for them to dogs and to not let them breed so freely around their neighborhood, let's say. And saying that we need more public education that also drives responsible human behavior. And in addition to that, the municipalities need stronger and more strategic CNVR implementation, including also the communities and citizens, because I think working in Kosovo made it clear to me that people are just uninformed and let out of the of some measures that the municipalities undertake. So CNVR implementation was supported by monitoring and evaluation projects or systems, and because this is, I think, what will measure their success or problems and difficulties on implementing activities foreseen by their plans. So I thank you so much for your attention, and I will now gladly hand over to Tamara Kartal to continue and finish this presentation from our side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear Elsa, and a very happy hello from me as well. My name is Tamara Kartal from PAWS International. As we've just heard, Kosovo has made immense progress in building a framework for humane dog population management. But there is an important question that sits behind all of these priorities that we've just heard. How do we know where to focus our efforts? And how do we measure whether we're making actual progress? Until recently, that was difficult to answer in Kosovo. Discussions were often based on local observations, complaints, media reporting perhaps, or individual municipal experiences. Those perspectives are valuable, but they don't provide a complete national picture. The street dog survey we conducted changed that. For the first time, we have a standardized data set covering all 38 municipalities. We now have an estimated national street dog population of just over 50,000 dogs, alongside information on sterilization rates, population distribution, and welfare indicators. Perhaps most importantly, this survey highlights significant variations between municipalities. Some areas have relatively high sterilization coverage, while others reported no sterilized dogs during the survey. Some municipalities have substantially larger dog populations than others, reflecting very different local realities. That means we now have a shared evidence base that can support planning, prioritization, and future measurement. But what does that national picture actually look like? This map helps us visualize how the estimated street dog population is distributed across Kosovo. While the national estimate is approximately 50,000 dogs, those dogs are not evenly distributed between municipalities. While this is probably not news to any one of us, it's still important to visualize it and be open about it and what that means across a nation. So as you can see here, several municipalities account for a particularly large share of the national population. For example, Peja has the highest estimated number of street dogs at just under 5,000, followed by Ferizaj, Pristina, Mališeva, and Podujevo. They're all in darker shades of blue. At the same time, other municipalities have substantially smaller estimated populations, which you can see in lighter green, almost yellowish color. This variation is important because it reminds us that municipalities are not all starting from the same position. The scale of the challenge differs, and so will the resources, interventions, and timelines required to address it. The map also illustrates why a single national approach is unlikely to be sufficient on its own. Understanding where dogs are concentrated helps us make more informed planning and resource allocation decisions. If you like more details, you can scan the QR code and read the survey report and get more information about the methodology as well. So the value of the survey isn't simply that it tells us how many dogs there are. Its real value is in helping us make better decisions. First, it supports prioritization. Municipalities with larger dog populations or very low sterilization coverage can be identified more clearly, helping focus attention and resources where they may be needed most. And secondly, it supports target setting. The national sterilization rate of 11% gives us a clearer understanding of the scale of the challenge, while municipalities can use their own data to establish realistic objectives for themselves. Third, the survey supports planning and resource allocation. It helps identify where veterinary capacity may need strengthening or actually capacity building, and where investments are likely to have the greatest impact. And finally, it provides Kosovo's first national baseline. So future surveys can be compared against these findings, allowing progress to be measured over time. In short, the survey gives us a stronger foundation for planning, prioritization, and monitoring, really. Of course, though, data on its own does not create change. Implementation ultimately happens at municipal level. So one of the strongest messages from the survey is that municipalities are not all facing the same situation. The realities in Pristina, Peja, Unic, Raniluk, or Mamusha are quite different. Population sizes, sterilization rates, local challenges, and available resources vary considerably. That's why a national strategy alone is not enough, but it's a very good start. The strategy provides a common direction, but implementation needs to reflect local realities. This is where municipal planning workshops come in. Their purpose is to help municipalities translate national objectives into practical local plans, using their own survey results and local knowledge about dog population dynamics. The workshops bring together municipalities, veterinary services, and us as NGOs to examine local challenges, identify priorities, and develop coordinated responses. The aim is not to produce a generic plan, but a plan that reflects the circumstances of each municipality and specifically their dog population dynamics and dog movements between dog subgroups. So what does that planning process actually deliver? The workshops are designed to move from discussion to implementation, from reaction to prevention. Using the survey findings as a starting point, municipalities work through a structured planning process that includes system analysis, objective setting, intervention design, monitoring, and budgeting. But at its core, modeling the dog populations that exist in the municipality and how they interact with each other. The result is a municipal dog population management plan with clearly defined priorities, responsibilities, and indicators. What makes these plans particularly valuable is that they combine several important elements, but they're also really local and they can be shared with the neighboring municipalities. They're grounded in evidence, local evidence, rather than assumptions. They connect priorities with realistic budgets and responsibilities. And they are developed through a participatory process that encourages ownership among the stakeholders responsible for implementation. The intention is not simply to produce another document that lies around and looks great. The intention is to create plans that can guide future budgeting, support implementation, and provide a framework for measuring progress over time. And again, where we can share it with our neighboring municipalities and learn from each other. When we bring these elements together, we can see how evidence, policy, and planning connect across administrative borders. So to conclude, there are three elements that need to work together. The survey provides the baseline, the national strategy provides the direction, and municipal planning provides the pathway to implementation. Sustainable dog population management depends on connecting these three elements through consistent implementation, adequate resources, collaboration, and ongoing monitoring. The survey gives us a starting point. The challenge now is to use that evidence to support practical action and measurable progress over time. And as well, add on to the evidence for other dog subgroups and really expand our knowledge and work from evidence rather than assumptions. With that, I say thank you very much for your attention, and we're looking forward to your questions.